Hello, good morning, and Happy New Year, my lovely people. I trust God you are all doing well. It's been a while on my newspaper reviews. Yes, I took a break. I've been very busy. Thank you so much, my returning subscribers, for always watching my videos. If you are watching on YouTube and you are yet to subscribe to my YouTube channel, what are you waiting for? Click on that word subscribe and turn your notification bell on for you to always be notified when I upload a video like this. And this morning, as usual, I bring to you the Punch newspaper and Al Jazeera newspaper. I will be sharing with you the headlines I am seeing here today because it's worth knowing. Like I always say, it is good for us to keep abreast of the recent happenings in our dear country, Nigeria, because what affects one person affects all of us. And our big news here today is abduction epidemic. Anti-kidnapping protests holds in Abuja today as 10 suspects arrested. And the rider says Tinubu vows crackdown on kidnappers, agents of darkness, abductors kill hotel barman. And that story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper this morning. Again, we have another story here which says federal government saves 8 trillion naira from subsidy removal, FX reform, Tinubu panel. That story is on page 20 of the Punch newspaper this morning. Again, we have another story here which says refinery Dangote investors gain 1.2 trillion naira, and that story is on page 20 of the Punch newspaper. Again, we have another story here which says many feared death as massive explosion rocks Ibadan. Oh, this is a sad one. I saw the video on Facebook. This car, I just feel for those affected in this particular area in Ibadan, and I pray that the government will do something to curb the situation. Again, we have another story here from Al Jazeera newspaper which says desperate forces out to implicate Bajabia Mila. That story is on page 9 of Al Jazeera newspaper this morning, and the writer says $2 million budgeted to amplify calls for Chief of Staff's resignation. Another writer says CSOs miscreants as willing tools to cause mayhem. That story is on page 9, like I said, of Al Jazeera newspaper, and that's a big news from Al Jazeera. Again, we have another story here which says Bauchi government louds military's effort on security. That story is on page 7 of Al Jazeera newspaper this morning. Again, we have another story here which says kidnapping, Wike urges calm, assures of tackling insecurity. We hope so. That story is on page 6 of Al Jazeera newspaper this morning, because there are a lot of kidnapping incidents going on in Abuja currently, FCT, the Federal Capital Territory. So it's not a good one. Honestly, the federal government and the minister should do something about the security in FCT. Again, we have another story here which says IGP summons commanders over killing, kidnappings in FCT. Others. That story is on page 5 of Al Jazeera newspaper this morning. Again, we have another story here which says 13 new independent power generation companies get licenses. That story is on page 14 of Al Jazeera newspaper this morning. Again, we have another story here which says federal government moves to curb adverse impact of mining on environment. That story is on page 16 of Al Jazeera newspaper this morning. Again, we have another story here which says Adeleke mourns as 7 die in Osun road clash. It's a sad one. That story is on page 5 of Al Jazeera newspaper this morning. Again, we have another story here which says Ohaneze to Tinubu end quest for Biafra agitation. That story is on page 20 of Al Jazeera newspaper this morning, and that's a message from Ohaneze to our dear President Tinubu. Again, we have another story here which says cement industry set for resurgence with 1.32 trillion boost. That story is on page 16 of Al Jazeera newspaper this morning. Again, we have another story here. This is our last story here, which says 5-level students set to break Guinness World Record. That story is on page 7 of Al Jazeera newspaper this morning. And these are the big news we have today, our headlines today from the Punch newspaper and Al Jazeera newspaper. Thank you so much. If you have watched this video to this moment, please give this video a thumbs up. Yeah, like my videos, okay, and share this video with your friends. Thank you so much for always watching. Till I come your way the next time.